What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, and I'm here with
Gershwan.
And today we're back at it to answer more questions from you guys, the viewers, in another For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put question in front of your question because we get to those questions first. And that is what Nikoi did. He asks, out of all of the Tau auxiliaries that have been mentioned, which one would you guys want to see on the tabletop?
So that's interesting because there's a few auxiliaries that obviously the Tau already have. They've got the Vespid and the Kroot. The Kroot being the more fleshed out of all of them because you have different units. They even had some Forge World stuff that was really cool. It was like these weird parrot dinosaur things.
Yeah.
Narlox is what they were called.
Yep.
But I think they went away.
They did, yeah. Forge World does not produce them anymore. I think there is a person who does recast and stuff for 3D printed stuff. But what was cool about the Kroot too is that for a while they were their own auxiliary force that you could attach to other things or play by themselves. I think it was 5th edition.
Right. It was like a mercenary Kroot codex.
Yeah, and it was online. It was free. I remember I printed everything out, but I threw it away, unfortunately. But yeah, the lore was really awesome, and they put a lot of effort into it.
It would have been cool if they would have continued that trend for all the other auxiliary races. And even now they have a section in
the codex.
Yeah, codices where they go over a few of them. But I think besides the Vespid and the Kroot, the next most well known is the WAAAGH, which is just human Tau followers.
Yeah. It would be really cool to have stat line for them within the codex.
I think the easiest way of using a WAAAGH is just to convert your own and just play them as a Astra Militarum detachment. Oh,
okay, yeah. Because for my Skitarii WAAAGH, I just figured I would use them as the regular Fire Warriors.
That too, yeah.
Yeah. As far as me, what I would like to see on the tabletop, though, there is a cast, or there's a race of, they're kind of like squats, so they're short, kind of stocky, but they're made out of stone. Their bodies are basically just stone and really hard and stuff like that. They serve as engineers, or they help the Earth cast. And they also do fight on their own.
Yeah.
I forget what they're called. Maybe Demiurge?
Yeah, just think of them as I don't know, squats mixed with rock ogres or something.
Yeah, with Golem from or Golem from Pokemon.
Yeah.
Geodude.
Those are pretty cool, and they'll add a very striking dynamic because the Tau are all kind of sleek and technological, and then you got these guys. It'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I see them going out and fighting with huge mechanical kind of mining robots and stuff like that. That would be cool.
Yeah. For me, it's always going to be the floating space psyker polar bears.
Those are called the Nikasar, aren't they?
Yeah, Nikasar, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, it'll add a different dynamic to the Tau since Tau have no psychic powers. These guys would be the ones to do it. Lore-wise, they're not really fighters. They're kind of just there to help traverse the stars and all that.
Yeah.
They're kind of like navigators for the Tau.
Yeah. Good question, though.
Yeah. The other thing, too, is there's so many other races out there that GW could just add a new one entirely. It'd be interesting to see what, though, because they already have a lot to choose from. And to just bring out something else.
Yeah. Next question comes from Fola. Is it possible for legions to reform in 40K? How would that translate into the tabletop? So no, it's not possible. There was a person that tried to do it. His name was... what was his name before he turned into the red whatever? From the Astral Claws. Ooh, I'm blanking out on both names now.
Luft Huron.
Yeah, Luft Huron.
Yeah. He became... now I'm blanking on his chaos name.
It might be... No, it was something... Red something. But anyways, there was a Space Marine, Luft Huron, who was so arrogant that he wanted to reunite all of the chapters in the...
Bad Ab.
Yeah, the Bad Ab sector, and gain that Legion strength again and fight against the Imperium. It turns out that he was obviously corrupted by chaos, but he tricked a lot of people into believing that, no, Space Marines are losing their power. Their autonomy is being tested. We must join together and fight. In reality, he just wanted control. Of these different chapters. So you had the Mantis Warriors, the Lamenters, all of these different chapters that joined up with Huron, not knowing that he was a Chaos pawn.
Right.
So
Huron Blackheart.
There you go, Blackheart. Yeah.
And it was the Red Corsairs.
There you go. So because of him, or he is an example of why the Legion strength stuff won't happen again. Even though Gilliman is supposedly building that with his Ultramarines.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. But it's under the grace of the Emperor, because he's allowing it.
That's true.
Screw Driven answered our question from last time, because we said, what is stronger than the Chaos Gods? He said, his love of thick asses.
That's true. I think...
well, is it, though? Because doesn't that fall under Slaanesh? Doesn't that mean that Slaanesh has you coiled under his and or her grip?
Do you get pleasure from craving something or loving something? Yeah, right,
yeah,
obviously. Yeah, maybe.
So even though you think you're stronger than the Chaos Gods,
you're actually empowering them by loving big booties. And who doesn't, honestly?
Right.
Comment down in the comment section below. Ass or tit man? Or woman, for that 1%.
Yeah.
This next question comes from Dartagna Simone. Who did the big spray paint piece behind you? Looks really cool. So this is a Chicago-based graffiti artist. You can't see it. His name is Exhaust. I think he still paints. Xaust. Look him up online. He did pieces all over Chicago. So he's an awesome writer. Next question.
Tommy Falcon. Is there a particular chaos god that is more powerful and or dangerous than the others? The thing about chaos is that it's an ever-turning wheel. At one point, maybe Khorne might be the one, gaining more ground in the Immaterium or doing more damage in real space. But eventually, the other chaos gods will kind of usurp him and take their own power for themselves. And it's chaos, so there's never going to be something stagnant for very long. It's always constantly in flux. And the chaos gods, they're kind of equal in power, so that they kind of keep each other in check. Because if one chaos god was to take over, obviously the others, it wouldn't be good for the others. It wouldn't be good for the state of 40K. So again, it's all just a big wheel.
Yes, that keeps spinning. This next question comes from Puissant Power Napper. What stops the Dark Mechanicus from inventing, reverse engineering, advancing? They aren't bound by the rules of the Adeptus Mechanicus. It's hard. They don't have the resources to do it.
Right.
It's not just the Adeptus Mechanicus and the quest for knowledge and the oppression of the Forge Worlds that cause a tech priest not to know how a toaster works. It's the fact that it's just hard to reverse engineer things.
Yeah. A lot of this technology has been lost through time and whatnot, so they have to recover STCs, and that's why they're so sought after, to actually understand what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because you've said the same thing time and time again. We use our iPhones every day. We think we know everything about them, but if it breaks, do we actually know how to fix it?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's like asking a student who just took pre-calc to reverse engineer the phone. He's not going to know. There's so much extra stuff that you need to know. And even the engineering teams at Apple and stuff like that. It's a lot of people, different departments, all working together to form this thing.
And even then, even within the certain Forge world, there's different cults. So while one part of the Forge will try to pray to the Omnissiah, the others are going to be well, yeah, that's going to help, but at the same time, you shouldn't be praying. You should be actively looking out for this mineral, go to this planet, do this thing. So,
yep.
And depending on which viewpoint you see, maybe just hitting it and it'll work.
Yeah.
Might makes right. Oh no, that's orcs.
Next question comes from Lime O'Beans. Nids are stronger than the gods. No.
I mean, no. We've seen Ka Banda, I believe, literally tear apart a whole Tyranid tendril, leaving just the skulls of all these insectoid beasts piled up for his god of corn.
Yeah.
So if one massively strong demon can do this, then yeah, they got no chance. And anyway, why would a Tyranid invade the warp? Like, there's no biomass in there.
Right. This next question comes from Matthew Rich. How is it that the Eldar are just now getting a god of death when the galaxy is full of death? Shouldn't there already be a god of death? Well, it's not just a god of death, it's also rebirth. It's way more complex than that. And it's almost kind of like the coalesce, or the emotions of these Eldar coalesced into this god, and there are less of these Eldar than there used to be for Slaanesh. Mm-hmm. So if it took that long to build up Slaanesh with that many Eldar doing their hedonistic stuff, imagine how hard it must have been to generate this guy.
Right.
And he also sucks, so.
Yeah. GW's like, oh, you guys created a new god. Next.
Yeah.
Let's focus on the Primaris.
Primaris Marines.
This one is by Levi Rock, or maybe it's Roach. Due to the exponential growth of Tyranids and the hive mind's ever-increasing reach, single-mindedness, and pure instinctual drive, do you think it's possible that a Chaos Lord of Order, or consumption, could be created?
That's kind of what the concept of the Emperor is.
Yeah.
Like, he is the god of, like, hope. It's kind of difficult to say that he's the god of order in chaos. Mm-hmm. But he is the god of, like, I don't know what it would be. Light, hope.
Yeah. Because the thing is, sentient beings are what create emotions and what feed the Chaos Gods, and create certain Chaos Gods if enough of a certain emotion or idea gets thought of. I don't know if that would be the case with Tyranids, because, like, yeah, they're living creatures, but at the same time, they have a hive mind. So you could say all these millions of individual, like, Tyranids could be their own thing, or they're just part of one.
Yeah.
So it would be like, yeah, you're making a bunch of thoughts of, like, consumption in that, but maybe it's just one big thought, and that might not be enough to coalesce in the warp.
Right.
Who knows? Maybe we're wrong. Maybe GW will go with that. Because it would be pretty crazy to have a Tyranid create a Chaos God.
Yeah.
When they do have Shadow of the Warp.
Right. Trorton says, if you could create a god... Oh. Is that the same question? No. If you could create a god in 40K, what would it be? It doesn't necessarily have to be a Chaos God.
Yeah, I've actually already made my own Chaos God. The Chaos God of Despair. I do have a video on it, probably like a year or two ago. And I do have thoughts of incorporating into my own like fan lore for the 11th Legion. So stay tuned.
Yeah.
I mean, there's despair all over the galaxy, so why not have a god coalesce from that?
Yeah. It's tough for me. I think like a Chaos God of Fear, I think would be kind of cool. Mm-hmm. Because there's fear in the galaxy. Yeah. And it could be like a really cool concept of like these things that come from the shadows and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And, like planets that just, the sun gets blocked out and it's eternal night and things like that. That would be kind of cool.
Oh, so like Fear of the Dark.
Yeah. A bump in the night.
Ooh, what's going on there?
Tremors and stuff, and then like hands pop out of the ground. That would be their demonic incursion.
Where Kevin Bacon at?
Yeah, Bacon.
Carrie Vogt. That's very guttural of a last name. One of you holds the mic with a kung fu grip. The other, like they're drinking Earl Grey tea. Do you ever think about the way you grip the mics, or do you just go all natural? I'll let you two figure out which grips them which way.
I think it's natural, and well, kind of, because I am conscious of the fact that like I'm not trying to move it, because any disruption with this is you're gonna hear it in the sound. So like if I do this, you guys are probably hearing things.
Yeah. I'm just trying not to drop it. Usually I hold my mics like this.
Every time.
Every time. Boom, boom. Thanks, Lanesh.
This next question confirms glorious victory. Can a psyker be used to strengthen weapons? No. Like they use their psychic powers to make a weapon more powerful by virtue of them feeding it power.
It's exactly what psychic weapons do.
Yeah. They're channeling.
Yeah, they literally channel your psychic energy to the blade, the whatever it is. If it's like a mace, that ball point, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
And that's how Grey Knights like kill demons. Like it's the blade that hits, but it's the channeling of the psychic energy that creates the explosion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This next question comes from the big one. What is the best deli meat? I love bologna, but my homie says pastrami is better. Who's right? I like Black Forest ham as my go-to.
Yep. That every time we go to like the store, Black Forest ham is what we get.
Yeah.
Just a pound though, because I feel like you never really
finish
it.
More than that.
Yeah. It's like you eat your cravings and it kind of just sits there.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And then the bread that you use is really important. I feel like regular old white bread.
Nah.
No, not. Yeah, you have to have like French bread, or something like that, like a bolillo or something.
Yeah, I usually do pumpernickel.
Pumpernickel, that sounds good. Pastrami is good too. It's just it really depends too on where you get it from.
Yeah, I was never a bologna guy.
Neither was I.
Because don't they put like cheese bits in there?
I don't know.
Or maybe that's just Oscar Mayer. Oh no, they got wieners.
Next question.
This one is by NeoGod29. I can only see 3 scenarios that the Chaos Gods will be defeated. The Necrons wins, Chaos dies. The Tyranids win, Chaos dies. Chaos wins, Chaos dies. What Chaos wants to do is keep things going. As long as it's going, they will keep getting stronger. They don't really want to win. Am I right?
You're 100% right. Whenever you buy, like, your first introduction to 40K is like, what is it called? Like, there is always war. Or I forget what the tag is. Like, I'm trying to look to see where
in the grim dark
is.
future of 40K, there is war.
Yeah.
Or there's only war.
Only war, yeah. And that's the whole point. Like, that's what Chaos wants. They just want consistent, like, war, so there could be consistent pleasure, entropy, rage, and just schemes and plots.
That's also a very big theory as to why Horus was defeated against the Emperor. Because he was empowered by the 4 Chaos Gods. He himself was a formidable foe. And the Emperor kind of just wiped him out of existence, erasing his soul. And the reason is because if Chaos would have won, they would have taken control of the Imperium. Thousands of people would have died, which means less people to believe and feed into the warp. And Chaos would have won, but slowly would have died out.
Yep.
So having the Imperium come out on top means that war will forever keep on going, and thus the Wheel of Chaos will always keep spinning.
That says a lot about the power of humanity, too, in terms of affecting the Immaterium. Because if humanity were to be wiped out, it's the end of chaos.
Yeah.
But if, like, the orcs were to be wiped out, no, you can still keep going. Or even, like, if humanity were to be wiped out, wouldn't that mean that, like, orcs could still feed? No. Chaos, so...
Yeah. It's like, yes, all these other races do feed into the warp, but it's like, for some reason, it's not as strong as human thoughts, beliefs, that kind of thing.
That's why Slanesh fucked up by, like, when he or she was born, killing all those Eldar was just ridiculous. Like, you should have just left them alive. You shouldn't have fed on them, so they could just continue to feed you. With the hedonistic and the debauchery and the, Streets of Blood.
Yeah.
So basically, like, a bad place. Last question.
Erock 9. Are the Chaos Gods, like, conscious? Would Grandpa Nurgle be able to tell me why rotting flesh and eyes falling out is actually a good thing? Or is he simply the face of an unconscious force?
He is the face of something that you can't comprehend. Because, like, the way you said it, it kind of makes it seem like he is... Like, you could understand him, but he can't understand you or communicate with you. If he wanted to, he could. That's what a demon is. It is a materialized version of the god's like whatever representation it wants, so that you as a sentient being can interpret that.
Right.
But in reality, the Chaos God is more than that. It is something that we can't comprehend as like puny little humans with pathetic brains.
Yeah. But those puny, pathetic brains are what feeds the Chaos Gods.
Unfortunately, yeah. Kind of like shrimp. Mm-hmm. They're good. With a little bit of buffalo sauce, maybe deep fried. But like, we're never gonna stop and tell a shrimp, "Hey, you're delicious. I want you to know that." It doesn't work.
Unless you're allergic to them.
Oh yeah, it's true.
Like blanks.
Yeah, you're essentially. No, shrimp are blanks to you then, because you're the Chaos God.
Ah, true.
Yes.
True.
And those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, please comment down below. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
Yep. As always, Kung Fu Grip here.
Gershwan.
And we are out.
Oh, what a beautiful mother.